my name is Yvonne Yurkowski and I'm here to do a step-by-step instruction on how to do a metered inhaler with a spacer. First thing first is we need to make sure they're both safe to use. For our inhaler, we're going to check the body of it and make sure it's not having any damage, and most importantly that our medicine isn't expired. So what I want you to do is take your inhaler, grab the plastic body of it, take your other hand and grip pretty strong the canister part and pull it apart. What we're going to check then is the expiration date. Mine currently says August 2019, so mine is good for just a little bit longer. And that means it's good through August. So mine is about to expire, but still is currently okay. So now I know that my medicine is fine, and as far as the inhaler, I am safe to administer it. With the spacer, the safety thing we want to check is are there any foreign particles in the clear tubing, or anywhere even around it where our mouth might go or the inhaler might go. First thing you're going to do is take off the mouthpiece. Some can do a visual inspection from the mouthpiece. I can't. I actually have some type of a blue filter there. So I'm going to go at the end where I would place my inhaler, and I'm going to put my eyeball right up to it and spin it like a kaleidoscope. And what I'm looking for is any foreign particles that might hurt me if I were to inhale them. This could be dirt, this could be like dust, it could be anything. You do not want to see anything in there. If you happen to see anything in there, you can try to do a quick rinse of water, or for something that's more stubborn, you might want to use dishwasher soap and soak it for 15 minutes and do a thorough rinse. The most important thing is once you've cleaned it, it's all dry. You don't want to use the inhaler if there's any wet moisture in there. If you need to expedite using it and there's still droplets, take a paper towel, put it in there, and just dry it off manually. So now we know our spacer is good because with mine I do not see any foreign particles or anything that I'm concerned about inhaling. So we've checked expiration on our inhaler, we've checked our spacer for foreign particles, and both are good. The next step before we're able to use our inhaler is to prime it. When you want to prime your inhaler is if you haven't used it for a long time, or if it's a brand new inhaler. This will help activate the medicine and shake it around, and also let you know if it's functioning properly. So you shake it vigorously, and then you're going to do 2 puffs. 1, and you can see this spray of medicine come out. 2, another spray of medicine. If no medicine were to come out, and you should be able to visually see it, I'm not sure if it's being picked up on the camera, but if you didn't see a puff of medicine, then it means your inhaler is not functioning correctly, or there's not any medicine in it, and it could be empty. The other thing to check is if you hadn't checked to make sure you'd put the canister in right, if it wasn't seated okay, you want to go ahead and do a push-pull, and if it's tight, it should work fine. The other check is if it wasn't seated, it wouldn't have pushed well and you wouldn't have seen 2 puffs. So if you don't see 2 puffs, push on that canister, make it sure it's seated, and past that you might be out of medicine or the inhaler isn't functioning properly. So we just primed our inhaler, we did the expiration, it was good, we checked to see that there were no foreign particles, and we primed it to get ready. Now we are literally ready to administer the medicine. First thing we're going to do, even though we just primed it and shook it, is we're going to shake it again. This will make sure there's activation of that medicine and it's ready to be administered. So we shake it vigorously for about 5 to 10 seconds. I'm going to place the mouthpiece of my inhaler to the back end of my spacer, and it's going to slide in. There's an exact space for it, and see how it holds it just like that? It's nice and secure. I'm going to take off the mouthpiece to my spacer and I'm going to place it down. And what I'm going to do is I'm first going to explain it and demonstrate it. Is you want to have your ready stance or ready position. You can be sitting or you can be standing, but you want to have good posture, have your shoulders relaxed, and be ready to take in some medicine. What's going to happen is you're going to take 2 breaths. Going to be deeper than you normally would, trying to get your lungs ready to take in some medicine. So it should try and avoid shallow breathing, and think of deep breaths that you expand your stomach and let the breath out slowly. After you do 2 breaths, and I'm going to stand this way so you can see my form, you're going to do 2 easy breaths and get those air out of your lungs, and then you're going to take a breath out like you're blowing out candles on your birthday cake. Not quite as hard, but the idea is to put all that air that's in your lungs and push them out. So you're going to push out all your air. You're going to make sure you don't take a deep breath yet. You're going to push out all that air, and then bring the spacer to your mouth. Get a seal on the mouthpiece with your mouth. Once there's a seal, you're going to pump the medicine, and you're going to slowly breathe in and hold. Once you have your breath held, you're going to hold it for 10 seconds and then slowly breathe out. So I'm taking 2 breaths. I'm getting ready to blow it out. So what I did there is I took in a nice slow breath. I try to fill up my lungs like a balloon. I try to take in that air and fill them up. I held it for a count of 10, which can be hard to do. And then I pushed out of my mouth the breath nice and slow. That is considered one administration or one puff of medicine from your metered inhaler. What you would want to do is put your inhaler down, go back to normal breathing, and depending on if you needed more meds, you'd wait 1 to 2 minutes before you repeated the steps. You would not need to prime your spacer, you would not need your inhaler, you would not need to check for foreign particles because it's still considered active. You're still using it in this moment. So if your prescription said 2 to 4 puffs, for those 2 to 4 puffs, all you need to do, the steps you need to repeat, is the shaking, get that medicine activated, seating into the spacer, 2 breaths out, puff into your mouth, and breathe it in nice and slow and hold. You don't need to prime it or do a visual inspection for every single puff, just for every use that you use it. So if you were to come back in 10 hours, you'd want to do a prime and you'd want to do a visual inspection. So that's it. Just to reiterate really quick, when you get your metered inhaler and your spacer, you want to make sure your inhaler is not expired. So we pull out the canister, we check for expiration. For the spacer, we check for any visible particles that might hurt us. After that, we prime our inhaler and make sure that it's good to go and the canister is seated properly. Once we know there's no expiration date issues, there's no foreign particles, and our inhaler is working properly as it primed functioning well, then we are good to go with administration. The best thing for all this is to try and stay as relaxed as you can. Obviously, if you're already in an asthma attack or under duress, it is going to be hard to take deep breaths. The important thing is to do the best that you can. Any medicine is better than no medicine. Thank you very much.